Hello my dear friends, how are you? Welcome. I'm Mari Theriger and here I am today to continue with the meaning of each rune for esoteric purposes. Carrying on with the remake of the previous videos, just the first ETH, right? Just the first row, which is taking me 2 years to complete, but we are close to an end. Finally. Again, I remind you, because these videos have a huge time span between each other, these videos on the runes are my own esoteric interpretations on a specific folder just for that sort of subject. For academic runology, please check the videos on the Nordic and Viking studies folder. I really want to finish this remake because I have half a mind on creating an oracle for each month and perhaps even for each week, where the runes shall have a part to play, obviously. But I'm still thinking about it. Perhaps, who knows, this might be the launching pad for future rune and oracle readings to whoever is willing to pay for such services. But I honestly don't know if I'm able to do that, or indeed if I have it in me. We shall see what the future holds. Well then, let's move on to this rune. This time it's Gebo. It is pronounced Gebo, but could just as well be Gebo, with a hard G further down the line a bit later in Proto-Germanic times. For the sake of understanding, I'll go with Gebo pronunciation, although Gebo sounds a lot cooler. Anyway, this rune is often understood as a gift, and although there's this very interesting perspective on past societies in terms of giving and receiving, as we often hear concerning pre-Christian Scandinavian and Anglo-Saxon societies, a gift calls for a gift. There's clearly a great romantic idea about it. This rune calls for fairness. When action is required or requested that will promote the well-being of the community, it's only fair establishing a reciprocal relationship. One provides and the other gives something else in return to present gratitude, recognition, an exchange of mutually acceptable behaviors, conditions, possessions, materials, and so on and so forth. But there is indeed a great romantic perspective on this, because not everything we give automatically becomes a statement that we should get something else in return for what was given. When we give love, friendship, trust, support, even our time to someone else, this should not put the other person into a position where they are forced to reciprocate, to give the same emotions to the person who is giving those emotions. If there is this feeling that a person should also give back the love and support, friendship and trust that is receiving, it is a forced feeling, and such emotions are not genuinely given. It's a false sense of fairness, because it is not fair to give something we are not ready to give, even if we are receiving it from someone else. Just the same way that when we give love, friendship, support, trust, and other emotions and acts that demonstrate such emotions, many of us feel like we should receive back what we are giving. But that is a general problem all of us go through. We expect too much from the other, because we forget others are not like us in some ways. Give me a second, because she might start to bite on the microphone, on the cable. Well, as I was saying, we expect too much from the other because we forget others are not like us in so many ways, especially emotionally and psychologically speaking, right? Many of us give such feelings and take actions as expressions of those feelings to another, expecting something back. It's not just in emotional terms, obviously. Many people do things and behave in some specific ways because they expect a reward. They expect to have something in return. When we do something that may be beneficial towards another person, it should indeed be without expectations. To give without the thought of having to receive something. We express beneficial behavior towards others because we genuinely like those people and we want to see them thriving, or because we have the power to do something beneficial and we know it. And we know it can contribute to a greater good without putting other people in the position of having to return the favor. Because for a variety of reasons, a lot of people find themselves in situations where they can't possibly give back what is being given. Yet, they do need help to thrive and evolve and move forward. When we have the ability to gift help, we should, without thinking that it's only fair to get it back, because it may not be fair at all to the other person who just needs genuine help to get out of a stagnating and troubling situation, without putting them in a position where they feel like they should pay back, or that they are in debt, because that ends up being a form of manipulation. And it is hard to understand if indeed we are giving part of ourselves or giving something to a greater good. We might not even ever witness that greater good. Sometimes we give too much of ourselves to a job, a company, to someone we work for, expecting to be noticed and to be praised for our work. But indeed, most of the time, we are just giving our life and time and patience and energy so that another can get richer and more powerful. And those are the types of sacrifices that obviously give nothing back. Although there are indeed sacrifices for a greater good, and in those terms, if indeed we have the perception that it is for a greater good indeed, a sacrifice should be willingly given and not expecting to receive anything in return, because an act of sacrifice is sacramental. It is not to receive something beneficial for the one sacrificing, most of the time, but it is to allow something beneficial to happen to others. There are many forms of giving a gift, just as there are many outcomes. The point here is to know if indeed our sacrifices are for a greater good or not, and also, perhaps most importantly, when we give something that may be beneficial to someone else, it should be given precisely because it can benefit someone and not because our primary aim is just to give in order to receive. The objective, the focus, shouldn't be to get something in return, some sort of a reward. We should give friendship, help, support, love because it feels right, because it makes sense, because it is meaningful, because we want to express those things, and because to whom we are giving such things, we know it will have beneficial changes in their lives. So a gift does not always call for a gift. In some occasions, a sense of fairness has to be present. In other occasions, an understanding of sacrifice must be present. At other times, there must be present and understood selfless actions of kindness, to have empathy towards another, to understand their struggles, even to give them a second chance in life, because you believe in them. You believe they can do better and become better, because we love them and we want them to see them happy, and we want to see them thrive without expecting anything in return. And it is hard to be like that, obviously, most of the time, because we are humans, we are complex beings full of emotions, and most of the time it is easier to be selfish because we want to also receive love and affection, praise, friendship, trust, and whatever else that makes us feel comfortable, safe, loved, happy, and wanted. But that's not how anything works. We live in a world where each human being has its own differences and uniqueness. We cannot demand people to behave in the same way we do. Each person has their own time. Each person is built differently. We have to respect that. We have to make the effort to understand that. And we do have to accept that. It's a long working process to be able to do that, obviously. And it may not even be beneficial or fair for us in the end. But that's the thing. We should give help and support without expecting anything in return. As such, we are free from disappointment and from hurt because it was given out of our own free will, without putting anyone into a position of being forced to give back or us expecting the other to give something, because that is not fair at all. And it is harder still when we do not yet know what love truly means. And love is a powerful emotion. But I don't think it's a complex one, because when love truly awakens in us, true love, there's nothing that can put a price on that. There's no measurement of value. It just is, and it is given. When true love exists, it does not require to be given back. I mean, the romantic view on this rune is the product of our highly modern materialistic society, where we always expect to give something in return for something else, where everything seems to have a stipulated value and an expirational date. When emotions become illusions and are only a means to gain something in exchange for something else. In a world where most of us think we can buy everything there is, because surely it must have some value, therefore it has a price. So in a way, Gebo is truly a gift, the gift of understanding that not everything can be exchanged for something else. The best things in life, the things that truly matter, can neither be kept nor bought. They have to be given. And we humans have many gifts to give, such as compassion, friendship, empathy, patience, help, love. When we receive this rune in a reading, we cannot always expect to have a reward, to have something in return, even though that's often the modern materialistic view on it. Sometimes it is a sacrifice or an act of letting go, or to give out a gift we possess because we can and because we must, and not because we want to receive something. The best gifts we can give to someone is our time and our genuine love. And when we do this, we must not think that people are bound to us in any way just because we have given our time and true love. The true meaning of freedom is to allow people to have the freedom to choose what they want for their lives and for themselves. We must allow people to choose, allow them to explore and experience in order to recognize who they are and what they truly want. When we give our time and our true love, we must do so with a full conscience that we are demonstrating what we feel and allowing the other to choose if this is what they want, what they truly want. We must give because it is meaningful to us and because it is beyond ourselves. We must not put a value on the time and love we choose to give. Our dedication and love is the most precious thing in this world. It has no value. If it is to be accepted, it has to be accepted by someone who has the freedom to choose it, accepted by someone who truly knows themselves and know what they truly want. This is the most powerful gift this rune has to offer, in my opinion, of course. A hard lesson, but a priceless lesson that will set us free on so many ways. And remember something very important and something I still struggle with, but I'm learning, I hope. After all you have given, if someone doesn't choose you, it's perfectly fine, right? Not only everyone should be free to choose what they want and what is more meaningful to them in each time period of their lives, but also if someone not choosing you led you to choose yourself, that's a great gift. When you have the time and space and focus to work on your emotions and to know who you are and what you want for yourself, you will later on find out who is deserving of your time and love. a person who will see your time and love as a great gift and be completely free to give their time and love to you as well. And that's not about fairness, that's not a sacrifice, that's the freedom of love that is given freely without any expectations. So I thought I should add this because, I mean, as much as Oriental philosophies and spiritualities have influenced the 20th century Eurocentric views on European past societies, and indeed, speaking of Northern European societies, much of what we think to be long-lasting philosophies of old Norse society are actually modern esoteric interpretations influenced by the modern Western society discovery of Oriental spiritualities. So there was indeed a great tendency to romanticize things, but also to distort these spiritual perceptions. Much of the modern esoteric interpretations we see in the rune Gebo is very much this sense of karma. So there is this false perception that pre-Christian Scandinavian and indeed overall Nordic traditions had this karmic pattern that equal demands equal. But even if there was this perception, and even picking on this romantic and twisted sense of karma, in reality, it is not applicable to actual life on so many levels, as I've pointed out before. What sometimes we give cannot possibly be given back without putting someone constantly and forever in debt. We cannot always receive what has been given, and we cannot always give what has been given to us. True fairness in this aspect is to recognize that powerful emotions, powerful energies, powerful states of mind, and our own time has to be given freely, because not everyone has the capacity to give back with the same intensity and power. Equal only demands equal when there's an agreed upon sense of value. And as stated before, the best gifts in life are inestimable, priceless, precious beyond measure. The wisdom of Gebo, in the sense of equal demands equal, or a gift calls for a gift, or indeed a sacrifice requires an equal sacrifice, makes sense, makes total sense in a society whose animistic relations with the divine and with other entities and between people was an exchange of materials and actions in an attempt to create beneficial relationships of mutual respect and mutual beneficial outcomes, to promote peace and to minimize harmful actions and effects. However, we should broaden our horizons, especially nowadays, in a highly materialistic society, which even in spiritual terms, people demand to have and think everything can be bought and sold and exchanged. Just because there's this sense of a gift calls for a gift, and many times that is the premise to build a beneficial relationship with the other, with whom we are trying to promote an existence that can be more enjoyable by minimizing the more harmful aspects of coexistence. We must not allow that perception to penetrate the purest gifts we have to give as human beings towards one another. Some things, especially on an emotional, psychological level, as was stated before with a few examples such as love, time, and help, are not exchangeable, are not bought and sold, are beyond any sense of value, cannot be given expecting to receive something in return. Sometimes equal does not demand equal. When we give knowledge, perhaps in return we witness somebody else thriving, and through that person the world might become a better place, or more habitable and enjoyable in the way that person applies knowledge and shares that knowledge with others. When you help someone, sometimes in return you see them grow and thrive and live, evolve and glow. So they might not give you help in return, but what they give you is a sense of accomplishment, a sense of fulfillment. And if you truly love them, in return, all that is necessary is to know that you helped someone and made that person's life something better. You helped to create a happier and better human being, and therefore it is one fewer miserable person in the world, which by itself already makes the world a little bit better and more bearable, more enjoyable, because that's one more happier person that by themselves can make a positive change. Sometimes that's the true gift, to plant a tree knowing that you will never see it fully grown, but future generations might enjoy its shade and its beauty and its fruits, and to give a house to hundreds of thousands of different animals. And sometimes the gift is the beneficial chain of effects of the help you gave, and it continues on through the generations. And with this being said, I do hope in life your actions can help another to become a better version of themselves. And as such, you have helped another to reach a state of mind that allows them to carry on the help onto others, thus making this life and this world a more pleasant place to exist. So, my dear friends, thank you so much for watching. See you on the next video, and as always, thank you for today. Until we meet again, my dear friends.